I set out to do that, it came from my recognition that for quite some time I've been working in what we call the diplomatic world. I have served at the international level, and I'm still serving there. I have served in the past 12 years at the regional level in Africa, and I recognize that in all these endeavors, that if you seek development, development does not take place in those high abstract levels. They take place in the grassroots. And I therefore decided to say that the particular level of government where action is key is the states. And there was something that Ambassador Carrington said that struck me, which is that well-organized states, and here I'm talking about subnational level, not states in the sense that it's used in international relations to refer to countries, could be laboratories of progressive ideas. And my speech, which I gave at the Asaba Summit, I'm going to make it available so that people will understand how this whole thinking came about. And my concern was that not only should Delta be one of the states that receive significant oil resources, but it should be the state that shows the light to the rest of the country. And that came from the conviction that Delta people have a lot of talents abroad. This morning, by a very impressive coincidence, as you may know, the permanent representative here in New York is from Delta State. I, as the senior ranking career person in United Nations in New York, I'm also from Delta State. And in Washington, where we'll be going in the next couple of days, the ranking African in the World Bank is also Delta State. This is a record to be proud of. Now, as we have seen in the paper, the topic that I was supposed to speak on is the significance of Delta diaspora in the economic growth and development of the state. A number of the issues which I wanted to highlight in my speech have been preempted both by the presentation of the governor as well as that of Ambassador Carrington. Therefore, I'm going to focus on very few specific issues which I think is important in terms of moving forward the state. And I begin from the premise that though we meet today in New York, the world's capital of high finance, multilateral diplomacy, and arts, we should not lose sight of the fact that the key concern, or indeed the main purpose of this forum, is to improve the lives of the people of Delta State. The impact of the day threat and the activities that the government has spelled out have to be felt from Asaba to Abraka, from Abo to Abe, from Burutu to Bomadi, from Emebo to Escravos, from Utibio to Ubiarako, from Opanam to Ole, from Ogwashiku to Zoro, from Ulomoro to Proza, from Koko to Kokori, from Ibusa to Yede, from Ujele to Ugele, from Fokanos to Sapele and Warri. This is where the result of this forum will be felt. So some of the people who are not from Niger Delta State, from the Delta State, and I see a few of them, the names of these places that I've mentioned may not mean anything from you. But this is where the struggle and the results of the governor's effort will be judged by the people. And it's very, very important to keep in mind that whatever we do is never in the abstract. Lives of people are impacted by our actions and inactions. Mark those words, by our actions and inactions. This morning, Oronto Douglas, whom I'm meeting for the first time, but for whom I have great respect since we belong to the fraternity of those that write on the Niger Delta, made reference to the fact that part of the struggle has to do with the fact that for many, many years, successive governments, especially at the federal level, have been negligent of the need to serve the people in the communities where the oil is produced. The first test of any strategy for the oil management of the country, and he used the word resource use, control, and management, and I think that's an elegant phraseology. The first test of whether any new policy approach with respect to the Niger Delta is making an impact will be precisely in the towns and villages that I've outlined. In my paper, which I presented at the Delta State Forum, I did urge the Delta State government to focus on 3 areas where in fact I challenged them to create niches. And coming to that challenge, I did undertake a review of 3 states that I thought were leading in 3 specific areas. I took Lagos as an example of a state that was making significant progress in the area of environmental management. I took Kwara State as a state that was making progress in the area of agriculture. And I took Adamawa State as an area where they were trying to make some leaps in health. I therefore challenged the Delta State government that they should do beyond and better than those states and move in on the 3 fronts rather than 1 front. Today, I'm glad the governor is moving in that direction. And governor, I'm grateful for that. But the PRO said something also, that the impact of the economic resources that we have to be felt. In that paper, I did say, but I did not develop it further, but today I want to outline it in this rich and explicit detail. I did say that the government should also explore areas, I'm quoting from that paper now, where it can quickly and demonstratively distinguish itself from other states in Nigeria. Today, I'm going to outline 10 important and possibly quick impact ways for the Delta State government to do so. These areas are low cost but high impact. And if the government were to take action in these 10 areas, not only will it create jobs, but as the governor said, it will make all our cities and our places more livable. The first in these 10 areas, I'm today calling on the Delta State government, through Your Excellency the Governor, to start a process of careful, deliberate, systematic greening of the environment, by which I mean planting of trees. Last night, myself and my wife returned from a trip to Paris, the city of love. And one of the things that we found was Paris was one of the most greened cities in the world. There is no reason for us not to begin that process. We cannot say we have to be as rich as they are today. When the process of greening those states started, they were never as rich as we are. And therefore, we must begin the process of greening the cities and towns and villages, starting with identifying about 5 cities where this will be put into test, by creating firebreaks and planting of trees. Second, I also want the government to begin the process of writing the names, towns, and villages in boards across the whole state, saying 4 things in each of those boards: the name of the town, the population of the town, the date that it was established, and the type of resources that are found in the town. This process will not only give identity to the area that we live, but it will also give an opportunity for job creation. Third, the state government should begin a consistent, deliberate effort of numbering houses and towns and villages. Today, it is appalling that most of our communities cannot get their letters other than through a postal office or a PND bag. We should move forward to the process of numbering our streets so that people can get their letters in their houses. And I think this is an area that the Delta State government can pioneer. Fourth, I want the government to begin the process of building worksite pavements in our key cities as a way of making the cities livable, as the government said. Fifth, I want the government to modernize primary schools and secondary schools by connecting them to the internet and establishing libraries in all of them. At face value, this may sound simple, but this is a huge tax. But it's a tax that is consistent with bringing Delta State into the internet age and making our children being able to read. Next, I suggest that the Delta State government establish health dispensaries or infirmaries in every village and town. This will give substance to the meaning of free healthcare of easy access. It is not envisaged that all of them will be staffed with doctors, but all of them can be staffed with health extension workers and nurses. Next, the governor said something which I found very impressive, and this suggestion, which is the 7th, builds on that. He said this morning that the government has spent about 700 million to help the current farmers. I want the government to go further and develop a process